Hi, babes. Welcome back to the Chase Life with Kelly podcast. I want to talk about Atlanta Swim Week. So, yes, that is going to be very niche to talk about, but I think it's going to resonate, and hopefully inspire and empower you to maybe take a chance on something that you didn't think, I don't know, would even be in the plan for you. Atlanta Swim Week, a friend of mine, a girlfriend here of mine in Atlanta, she actually has done like New York Swim Week, Miami Swim Week, Fashion Weeks, all the things. And she decided to go ahead and think like, hey, there's nothing like that here in Atlanta. Let's go ahead and do it. So she put the whole Atlanta Swim Week together. Her name is Madison, or Maddie Gray Fitness is her Instagram handle. But she also, coming out of this Atlanta Swim Week, she not only put together a whole event, she also created 2 bikini lines in the process of all this. And she works a full-time job and all the things. We're going to have to get her on the podcast because she's very inspiring to me because I see a lot of what I would like myself to be like. And again, this kind of goes back to my own image of myself that I am still working on. It's still a work in progress. But you know, when you like see these people and you're just like, damn, like everything that they touch just turns to gold. That's how I feel about her. She like gets an idea in her head and she executes. She makes shit happen. She gets people involved if needed and she makes it happen. She did the damn thing for Atlanta Swim Week. And honestly, like I being one of the models and being backstage, I didn't hear really of any like snafus happening. Like it really was pretty, like had such good transitions and it was extremely seamless and such a badass show. She had a great turnout, and definitely had a great turnout as far as like publicist and marketing went, photographer galore. I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. I just love that. So anyways, she started, maybe it was like maybe a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago. She put something on, she put like a form on her Instagram, like, hey, fill this out if you're interested, as far as being a model or working with the show in some capacity, whether you're a vendor, designer, whatnot. And at the time I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So I submitted an application and, I think I let her know too. And like one of the other gentlemen that was like helping to organize with her, I let them know. And they had reached out to me also to ask about being on the podcast to promote the show. At the time, it was last year sometime, and I was taking the break. See, missed opportunities. But anyways, they reached out to doing, like a podcast episode to promote the event. And I was like, I'm taking a break right now, but yes, absolutely. I mean, I can still do it. We could do just like a one-off kind of interview. But both of us are so busy. Like I said, Maddie actually works a full-time job. She works a full-time job and she crushes her full-time job. Again, kind of like I was saying, like going back to her just being very inspiring as an entrepreneur. It just really puts her mind to it and goes and gets it. So it's helping me. I always see the people that inspire me, I don't look at it like like competition or it's like comparing myself in that way. I'm saying, hey, they did it. I can do it too. Hey, I like the way they do this. I would like to adapt those same types of like qualities and characteristics so that I can do those things too, so that I can really up level my life. So I hope that lands with y'all and inspires you to look at things a little bit differently. Again, this is partly a mindset, a mindset podcast. So I think that just being able to shift your mindset is it's a game changer. It's not so helpful. It is a game changer when you can shift your mindset around anything in life. It is a choice. Every little thing that you do is a choice. So if you want to sit there and feel insecure and lack confidence and be like, I'll never have what they have. Well, with that attitude, you won't. So you got to change your attitude. You got to change your perception. You have to change the way that you think about yourself. And like I said, I'm a little bit of a work in progress in that area as far as my self-image, because there are things that I'm still working on. Because I don't see myself sometimes. Like y'all could be like, Kelly, you work a full-time job. You're doing a podcast. You show up on social media all the time. Like you're doing the freaking most. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. We all just see ourselves differently. So I'm working on it. But yeah, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this be a part of Atlanta Swim Week. I was like so excited. And I actually had talked with Maddie about maybe hosting. And honestly, I'm so glad that she said this to me, but she was like, Kelly, you may actually get more exposure as a model. Like, I think you'll actually really like it more being the model and doing that than hosting. And I'm really glad that she said that. Like I said, Roxanne and her fiance, Antoine, did they hosted Atlanta Swim Week, and they're friends of mine. They kicked ass too. Like, they were, not to say they were so much better than I would have been, but like they were so good. Like, they were so good and they were perfect for it. And I was so aligned with what I was doing. I literally, when I got done walking on stage, I had posted a couple things on social media, on Instagram, and one of my book mentor and really good friend, Samantha Joy, she was like, yeah, girl. And I said, yeah, screw everything that I thought I was going to be, because I'm about to become a bikini model. Like, this was so fun. It lit me up in so many ways. So I just, like I said, I just wanted to do a little short episode on kind of a little debriefing of it, and things that I wish that I had done differently, and what I would like to do differently next time. So, with that being said, yeah, I was accepted to be a model a couple of months ago. And then since then, I mean, Maddie was even so good about like emailing and just staying organized with getting you lined up with your designer, making sure that, we were all there on time. And I love the fact that they provided food for us. They provided lunch, and it wasn't like a salad. I mean, they did have salad too, but it was also like grilled chicken and rice. So that was awesome, because I am an eater. I love food and I really like to eat. And sometimes this is really strange, but maybe someone out there can relate. But sometimes when I go hours without eating, my stomach actually gets bloated. Like, it fills with air. It's very strange, but it like fills with air. And then I'm bloated, and then I'm gassy, and I'm uncomfortable, and all of that too. So super strange. Anyways, so some things that if this is something like, I highly encourage, like literally, I highly encourage you to do this. The most beautiful thing about this Atlanta Swim Week that I saw was women of different sizes and shapes walking in bikinis, owning themselves, like owning the person that they are, owning their bodies. And I mean, literally, I was like, oh my God, I just like 2 nights before, 2 nights before the event, I had been eating really clean all week because I was like, I don't want to be bloated. But 2 nights before, I was so hungry. I had no self-control, and I just like binged. I ate like, a friend of mine and we went to a Mexican restaurant, and I totally devoured like 3 tacos, like corn shells, and probably about 50 chips and queso. I mean, 50 chips with queso. And yeah, I did not feel like, my stomach did not feel good for like 2.5 days probably. So that led into the show. I didn't feel my best. I definitely was bloated, and I kind of was kicking myself about that. But then I'm like, whatever, I mean, honestly, like in the moment, being around all the girls, and all the girls were so nice and supportive of one another too. They were cheering each other on, and just connecting, seeing where everybody was from. And yeah, it was just so awesome. And then obviously, like walking the runway, like I wasn't like, oh, I mean, yeah, I probably was sucking in, but I was just like, so like, fuck yeah, all my friends are here. There are cameras at the end, there's cameras all around, like, let's freaking go. And I was wearing wings to come out on. I felt like a true Victoria's Secret angel, and that was just, what a moment that was. But yeah, I mean, the body positivity was just so beautiful to witness, for myself, because when you're so present and in the moment, it's like nothing else matters, and literally nothing mattered. I was like, screw it, I have a little bloated belly, it's fine. But yeah, the body positivity amongst all the girls was just really, really cool to see. I mean, these, God, like rocking like G-string bikinis, like, it was amazing watching some of these women. It was so cool. So like the connections, the networking, that happened at this event was so awesome. What would I do differently next time? Honestly, a few things. Okay. So I would not eat the cheese dip and tacos 2 nights before. I would pretty much stay. I mean, and granted, not that I'm like lactose intolerant, but dairy does bother me. So and plus I had bought some like sourdough bread for my friend that was in town, and I had some pieces of it. I like gluten, definitely doesn't like help my body out. And honestly, I do have a little bit of like eczema or a rash under one of my armpits. So that's lovely right now. I'm having to put some like Benadryl hydrocortisone cream on that just to make that go away. And I'm using some natural like ointments as well. But I also am like stopping. I took the sourdough bread and I put it in my freezer because I was like, okay, I'll put it in my freezer, and like if people come to visit me or something, like I'll have some bread for them for next time. But I was like, I almost threw it away, and I was like, okay, well, not everybody is allergic to gluten or has a sensitivity to gluten, although I think so many people have sensitivities to gluten, and that could be a whole nother podcast topic. But because it's so chemically processed these days and all the things. That's why there's so many issues with gluten these days. But anyway, so would not do that. I would take more pictures and content. I feel like I did a pretty good job. Granted, I didn't share like throughout the day. It wasn't like a, hey, come along with me kind of situation, but I just, looking at other girls' posts and stuff, not comparing, just like learning. Again, mindset shift, not comparing, learning, because I would like to do this again. Take more selfies, like in a ring light. Make sure that I bring my tripod and take more pictures. Even in those wings, I wish that I had personally taken a picture of myself. But luckily, they had a bunch of photographers there, obviously, and I'm getting some more professional looking shots back. So that's amazing. I would hire a videographer to like do like content like behind the scenes with me, and for that person to be in the audience, so that in the event one of the other professional photographers did not capture me or the look that I was aiming for or something, then I would have my person to be able to capture what I was looking for, like get a particular angle, because obviously the photographers that are there, particularly if they don't know any specific models, they may not be honing in on them. You know what I mean? They may not be honing in on every model the same. So I would try and hire someone to come along with me, and that would be super fun. And then, maybe like do some like interviews, like pre-show and post-show too, to have even more content out there, because the more content that we can create, I mean, granted, many of you may not want to have an online presence, but again, this podcast isn't to keep you small. It's to catapult you into a next level version of yourself. So I'm always going to suggest like put yourself out there. You never know which opportunity is going to create another opportunity for you, and that'll be another topic. But something else that I would say is like alert the press. Like I was on a reality TV show, and probably nobody at that event knew that, which is fine. Like it was 4 years ago that it aired and everything, but press still loves Love is Blind. Period. People still love Love is Blind, and I should have like reached out to someone who knew someone and been like, hey, there is going to be a girl from Love is Blind walking on Atlanta Swim Week. We need press there. There was press kind of there, but like to do press on me. Because again, I'm trying to get bigger and bigger, because the bigger I am, the more impact that I'm going to create. And I say that with, I say that out of like to be humble. Like I am here to create impact. I'm here to touch someone's life. I'm here, whether they're listening to my podcast, watching the podcast episodes on YouTube, following my social media content, friends with me. I mean, I know a handful of my friends that actually listen to my podcast. I love y'all. That made me emotional a little bit. That just like hit me in the feels, because I do. I appreciate every single one of you, whether you are my like best friend or someone I have never met on the other side of the country. Like I am so appreciative of you for listening in and tuning in. But we all can make a difference in this world, and whether it's me doing this, getting bigger and bigger, and I just reiterate that you have one life to live, and you are meant to do great things. So You could do that secretly behind a camera, or you can do it really loudly in front of a camera. But yeah, I would also like get an agent to hype me up and connect me with the media outlets. But have the agent to like go, maybe hiring the agent, and that agent goes around to different like E! News, US Weekly, things like that, and being like, hey, Kelly Chase from Love is Blind season 4, or season 1, she's going to be on, she is walking the runway at Atlanta Swim Week. We would love to have you there. And invite press to come in. Like, that would be so badass. And then have like news spreads, all the things. Guys, like, it's okay to talk about yourself like this. It's okay to want things. It's okay to desire things. It's okay to like make yourself bigger than you think you are. Again, self-image. So I'm stepping into it. I'm owning it. Like, this is what I desire. I'm choosing it. It's not want like out of a place of lack. It is like, hey, I freaking desire this. I choose it in my life. But not everyone is like that. Not everyone wants that. But I just empower you and encourage you, like, try. Okay. So with that being said, I loved the, those are probably like my biggest things. Oh, and I would probably work out a little bit more, like do more strength training. I need to do that anyways, regardless of this Atlanta Swim Week. I have to do that anyways, because osteoporosis, like our bones, as we get older, that's a health risk. So, just feeling a little bit stronger in our bones and our bodies all together. So I know strength training, maybe like, 2 to 4 times a week, is just something to add in. And obviously, I think when you're moving your body a little bit more, you are not eating as poorly. And granted, over the last month, like I had been doing a pretty good job as far as like moving my body on a more consistent basis. And then I went to Arizona for a few days, and then I came back, and I just really like, I've gone for walks and I've done some yoga, but like I really haven't like been super consistent with it. So it all added up, and that's okay though. Again, like I said, I felt amazing. As far as like being in the moment, being so present, I had the freaking time of my life. And I loved the designers that I worked with. Madeline Gray Designs was the one with the like lime green, if you saw that online, with the pink angel wings. That was absolutely my favorite. Those angel wings are like, it's like a famous fashion designer, Homespun Hearts, I believe is the name. And I can link all of that stuff in the show notes as well. But then there was Steel Sparrows, and then Magnifique by Victoria Henley. And they were just all so fun. It was funny because let me put it this way. I was supposed to walk in 2 shows, which was Magnifique and Unique Cartel. And then Magnifique, the designer, wasn't there for a little while. So then they were like, hey, we need someone for this. One of the models maybe didn't show up for Steel Sparrows. So they were like, hey, like, will you try this set on? And so I tried it on. They're like, sure, there you go. You're in a new show. So now I had potentially 3 shows that I was to walk in. And then later on, Tori, my little love bug, she was kind of like the set manager and everything. She was organized. She was just staying so organized and on top of things. She came to me and she was like, hey, Kel, do you want to wear one of Maddie's pieces? And I was like, yes, hell yeah. And then I was like, oh my God, I get to wear the wings. So now I'm walking in 4. Then later on, Tori comes to me and she was like, Kel, how many are you walking in? And I said 4. And she goes, well, there's one model that kind of got here a little bit late. She doesn't have a show now. Can she, can she do Maddie's? And I was like, yeah, like begrudgingly, I was like, no, don't take the bathing suit from me. But anyways, I didn't say anything. I was just like, yeah, of course. But then I was like, you know what? I sat there for a second, and you got to ask, you got to ask for what you want. Right. So she walked by me, walked back by me. I'm like tongue tied on that one. Walked past me, and I was like, hey, Tori, honestly, Maddie's bikini fits better on me than the Unique Cartel one. And the Unique Cartel bathing suit was beautiful. I loved it too. It just didn't fit as well. And so I felt more confident in Maddie's. And so she was like, oh, okay, well, let me grab both of those, give it to the other model, have her try them both on and see which one fits better on her. As we all know, I wore the wings and Maddie's bikini. So the other one, the unique cartel one, went to the other model. And so now I was able to walk in the 3 Madeline Gray designs, Steel Sparrows, and Magnifique. And I just loved it. And even the Magnifique one, the designer handed me the set, and it was kind of like a triangle top with the shorts bottom. And I was like, oh, I thought the shorts bottom was like a brief, like tight to my thighs. And I don't love those. I mean, yeah, when I was like 12, I did, but not now. But I put it on and it wasn't even like a bathing suit. I mean, it was bathing suit material, but it was not. Like, it was more of almost like a cover up and like slits on the side. And it was actually like almost like gym shorts, like loose, like silky shorts. I loved it. I was like, oh my God, now I feel so sporty chic in this. So anyways, all that to say, I feel like I owned the runway when I went out there. I went out there with so much confidence. And just, again, I just loved so much of it. And like I said earlier, you never know what opportunities can come from this. One, opportunities of meeting new people. Amazing. Like I really did. I connected with such beautiful human beings. Even, like from the right when I first got to the event, like checking in, met this girl in line and her name's Kat. And I was like, she was just so nice. And like everybody was just so fun and nice. And so kind and supportive of one another. So opportunity to meet new people, opportunity to connect with makeup artists, designers, press. Also, the opportunity that when you are sharing about it on social media, you never know who else is watching. And so you guys remember that I did a magazine cover 2 years ago for Sense and Style magazine. Sense and Style magazine reached out to me and was like, hey, we saw that you walked in Atlanta Swim Week, would love for you to model our design, model for us in Miami Fashion Week. Oh my God. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And it's on a weekend. So I am like, 90% sure that I am going to be able to do this because I don't have to take off PTO. But I was like, oh my God, like that's just one step in the right direction, right? And I connected with a handful of the designers. Especially I had like just really good, great, genuine conversation with Lost Ocean, the designer of Lost Ocean. That was like the very aquatic looking. It was like one of the last looks. I was obsessed with her line. I was like, it's like everyone's a mermaid, and it was amazing. Anyways, she's super cool. I think she lives near one of my best friends in Florida, and I was like, this is awesome. Anyway, she was just so down to earth, and I just loved her. But anyway, so just connection. That is what this is about. Connection, communicating with people, right? Like learning how to communicate and just be a part of other people's worlds. Like you just never know who you're going to connect with, who's going to be your next best friend, who is going to give you your next big break, right? Like, it's just so cool. I'm like, why not? Like, no, did I ever think that I would be walking in a fashion week or a swim week? No, but I never put it past me either because my mind is super open and I like it. Maybe it's my Leo energy. I don't know, but I just love being around other people. I love being in the spotlight. I like being in the spotlight. I do also love being around other people, but I love being in the spotlight. I think it's just fun. So my advice to you, if you ever want to do this, just start following, like go through, like connect with Atlanta Swim Week, or it's at ATL Swim Week on Instagram, and look through their followers, look through the pictures and the videos that are being posted, see who's liking their stuff, see who's commenting on it, connect with these individuals, and see if that's something that you would be in. Like, even if you're like, no, they wouldn't want me. Again, whatever your insecurity is, and most often it's going to be body image. I promise you could walk like all shapes and sizes. It was so beautiful. So shoot your shot, apply, connect with these people. And again, maybe it is your opportunity to step into this next level version of you that you didn't even know existed. And I am so happy, and I look forward to seeing that. And you better tag me if you're ever doing something because I empowered you or inspired you to pursue it. Love it. Anyways, okay. I think that's it, about Atlanta Swim Week. If you have any questions, obviously feel free to DM me about it. But I just wanted to do an awesome, like a recap and just say how awesome Maddie and Tori were. Everyone that was involved in Atlanta Swim Week, sending you so much love. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. Everything from just the organization prior to like getting everything set up to the night at Palo Santo, like of the kickoff party for it. That was so like nicely set up, and it's such a great I connected with a handful of girls there too. It was fun. And then obviously the all day, the makeup artist, thank you so much for doing my makeup. You did a great job. And everything, like all my friends, all the friends, people who came to Atlanta Swim Week, the actual event. Thank you so much. Stay for the late night party. We appreciate that. And then Sunday, anyone who I love that she hosted like a parting brunch for anyone who was still there. And therefore I was able to connect with a couple more girls. And just, Maddie was there too. And so I, just gave her the love that she deserves as well. So all in all, it was a great weekend, and I have been tired since. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in today. Yeah, give it ATL Swim Week a follow. Give me a follow. Download the podcast episode if you like this podcast episode. Obviously, rate, review, subscribe, all the things. If you're just loving the podcast in general, not necessarily just this episode, but just the podcast in general, would love a great review and for you to rate the show and subscribe to it, follow it, download it, all the things. Follow over on YouTube as well. And yeah, always feel free to reach out via Instagram, DM me, and would love to connect with you. And go pursue your dreams, chase life. Love y'all.